coLStalife standpoint. Okay. Alright, so, guys, because they didn't invite me into the game, we're going to go ahead and watch coLStalife because he is luckily streaming. So we are going to be watching Gatored versus coLStalife. I probably should update the map. They are playing on Xel'Naga Caverns. So let's do that. We're going to not be deterred by the lack of invite. This means I'm not going to be able to look at the StarCraft chat or anything. But let's see what you guys are doing right now. So at the very least, it'll also make it easier for me because I will be able to just go ahead and not have to focus on the camera, but let's fix the scene. This whole thing. And now, hello guys, we're going to watch coLStalife against Gatored. All for one versus Complexity. It's going to be watching from coLStalife's point of view because he's streaming, thankfully enough. So it's going to be kind of an interesting cast because of the fact it's a one-person view. We have to say things like what I think they're thinking, what I think is happening from the Protoss standpoint, and everything. But we're going to go ahead and see these guys play. coLStalife right now seems to be starting off with a 1-1-1 build as his factory is completing. Second refinery is on the way. It might be a Banshee opener. I've seen coLStalife do a lot with Banshees in the past. It is definitely very much an easy possibility. So when we're seeing these guys play, I'm waiting to see what Gatored is doing. Oh, these guys have also switched colors, but you know what, it doesn't matter. I'm not worried about that right now because I want to be able to keep this screen up on full screen. Although it's kind of bothering me, so I'm going to change it. I mean, I've got time. We're always looking at one person anyway. So coLStalife is actually green. Gatored is red. And here we go. So now coLStalife is a 1-0, so it means this was a loser's pick map, I believe. I want to say it was. I don't know exactly for sure with the Zotac format, but Gatored is going to be definitely in an interesting position. coLStalife could easily go for Banshees. He's building, yeah, there it is. It's probably going to be a Banshee. Is it going to be a Banshee Blue Flame Hellion build? Because that would be really fascinating. Watching this, did he build a Banshee? I'm assuming it was, because he did build that onto the starport. Now, watching this, I'm waiting to see if he's going to research something from the factory. If he's going to just build a tank. I think that was a tank he just built. So, it's going to be possibly a very strong one-base play with tanks and Banshees. We're seeing the Expo just went down from Gatored. I don't think it was actually completed yet. I think I just saw the blue warp gate warp prism thing. It's not actually warp prism, but it's like opening a prism into like the rift or warp rift maybe. You know what? I'll go with warp rift. Sounds cool enough. But it's gonna be Raven coming out. So we're probably gonna see a really strong one-base push with the Raven point defense drone, auto turret maybe with the Banshees coming out next. Hopefully, it's probably gonna be the case. Looking at this, Styles running around, doing a good job of scouting. So let's continue pushing on. He's doing as much as he can. Reactive Marines. This is going to be a really strong one-base play. Looks like there's going to be no expansion coming out quite yet. But there's going to be a few Stalkers running around. Looks like once these guys reinforced come in, should be fine. But looks like Gibbs be smart enough not to go into that choke. We do see a proxy pylon on the left side of the map that coLStalife has scouted. Kind of curious to see how well it's going to be defended from coLStalife. Actually, he's lowering down those supply depots, interestingly enough. Kind of curious what his thought process is for that. But now we see a little bit of Banshee harassment coming. Probably going to scout to see the vulnerability of Gatored, to see if coLStalife can actually hit with a really strong one-base push in order to attack. But it looks like he's not getting scouted. I haven't seen any red dots under it. Under his vision, so I don't think it's being scouted. But if there's observers out, which there probably is, I'm assuming that a Robo is coming out for our gear. We haven't seen any Stargate harassment, we haven't seen any Void Rays, Phoenixes, or anything. So odds are Robo is the standard way to go. We'll see how much damage is going to be done. That is going to be a robotics bay. Oh, cool. So Colossus are going to be coming out right now. Looks like this sentry is going to get targeted down, but with another couple sentries and a stock coming out, coLStalife is forced to pull back. So seeing around here what's happening, coLStalife's going to go ahead and retreat. He might go ahead and start working on his one-base push now. If he can hit before Colossus come out, it'll definitely help him out. It might be his timing if he can hit at that point. I could imagine that we're going to coil. So there's medevac now. It's a really interesting play. There's no command center, I don't think I remember having from StarLife. It's just straight up one base completely. It's still before the 10-minute mark, so it's not crazy bad to have that happen, but he's going to have to repair that Banshee, no doubt about that. Salvaging his units. He's got to work on knocking his supply blocks. He's I don't know if he has a supply depot coming down now, but he's about to be supply blocks. He's 80 out of 83 food. Wish I could see what was going on with Observer is about to get killed. That's not going to survive. Yep. So that oh whoa, it actually did survive. He didn't kill off the Observer. And there is the expansion going down now. Looks like StarLife actually is working on getting another supply depot now that he's realized his supply blocked. That's going to hurt his play right now. There's going to be a scan. He sees this huge... Ooh, Colossus out as well as an Immortal. It's kind of a strong army. Assault's going to be careful with his positioning. It's going to be really important. I don't think he has siege mode, does he? I don't know. I could tell you researched that before. But he's not sieging anything right now, so odds are he does not have it. But there are Zealots closing the gap in a lot of... But there's so much DPS right now with all those Marines and tanks. You can see repairing happening on that... tank, allowing it to actually stay alive. There are a lot of Marines on there. It's going to have to hit the Colossi, but there's some beautiful force fields from Gator'd right now, and StarLife is being forced to be in a bad spot. It's coming around the side, going to try and snipe off that Colossus, but he's definitely in a little bit of trouble right now. That Colossus should actually survive. Got pulled back in time, so Gator'd has now defended with an attack. Didn't let StarLife get into and yep, there's GG from StarLife. So game is done. StarLife is a loss. Great defense by Gator. So now it's back to 1-1.